You call yourself a man? You know you're a lying, low-life, motherfucking gambling degenerate prick. You know that's what you are?
Well, hello, you degenerate fucks, and welcome to the Degenerate Gambler. It's Thursday, the 13th of April. I'm a day late this week. I'll get the podcast up as soon as possible, and I'm late, but I have been away with the family in Euro Disney. Look, it'll be a short and sweet episode this week. I'll have a quick look at last week's bets. Not all of them because it was a big weekend. I did do a lot of bets, but Easter is a big weekend. You know, you have everything from the Championship down on Friday, then you have Premier League and European matches Saturday, Sunday, and then again Championship down on the Easter Monday. So, look, it's a big weekend. It was a big investment this weekend. I spent a good few quid on bets, but did manage to get, well, I got one up of my own bets, and I also got a boost up that was on Bet365, so you know it was profitable, and that's the main thing. One thing I will talk about is I've actually had a couple of people message me about this, about while I was away using a VPN. Um, People having problems with using VPNs and stuff, and yeah, you know, I've done it a few times now. Some websites are better than others at stopping you using a VPN, Bet365 being one of them. But what I will say is when I was away, I was able to easily log on to Virgin Bet, Live Score Bet, Betfair, any others that I was on? No, I think those three. And then with Bet365, so I couldn't get on the app. I did get on the website at the start, but then after about three or four times of being on it before I was picking a bet, I think I was checking a bet or something, but that are already placed. It started coming up error and denied, access denied. So I was like, right, but I'm running this VPN, so why is this? What's going on? So I was fiddling about and turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, blah blah blah. And then I remembered, right, I'm using a VPN, yes, but I'm also got my location services turned on. So I went and turned those off, went back on, still wouldn't work. So I'm like, right, well, what the fuck? So then I'm like, you know what? I'll turn the phone off. So I turned the phone off, turned it back on, and obviously the location services were still off. And then I don't know what that does, if that resets it or what it does, but then it worked and it would let me on the website. Now, as I say, it would not let me on the app at all, but at least I got on the website. But it did have a few people message me and asking me, like, you know, like I think the guy was from Spain, but he's somewhere else, and he was saying that it knows that you know that he's not in his home country and it's not letting him on. But I said, look, it's not the app I used; I used the website. So hopefully he got that sorted. But a few people had asked me, what's it like, what VPN am I using, etc. So I have used both now of the big ones. I've used ExpressVPN and I've used NordVPN, and both were pretty decent. Um, the only thing is, the guy was only in France, so the my data was decent. But when I was in, I think it was Mexico when I used the ExpressVPN, the data wasn't great. So even then, it was hard to get on the websites because you know you know it's just it wasn't a great connection. But look, it is a way to get around it if you are traveling. I did do a load of bets before. I did Friday and Saturday's two main bets before I left, so I knew I had those two bets on, but it was just other bets that I was trying to place for Saturday evening, Sunday, Friday evening, even Sunday evening, and then again on Monday. So I say I've only got back late yesterday, so I haven't had a chance to do any of the stats, anything like that. I've just quickly jotted down, and not even all the bets, just some of the bets, and I'll go through them quickly. So Freddy's main bet, Plymouth are fucking hammered there. I don't know, they're a hard team to back. Gateshead won, Gillingham drew, Stevenage, not sure, and then Lens I think won as well. So not too bad. Friday I had a free overs bet that was terrible. Um, I did, however, get the super boost up on Friday at a tenner on. It was the Middlesbrough Burnley game, over 2.5 goals on Akpom sorry, to have a shot on target. So that got me 32.50. So, as I said on Twitter, it was better than nothing. Then on the Saturday, so Saturday I did another main bet. And this is another thing. Some people ask me about the main bet as well. for me, me and bet, it doesn't mean the one I think's gonna, have the best chance of winning, because any bet has a chance of winning, and no matter how good it is, any bet has a chance of losing. What I mean by main bet is it's the most stake I'm going to put on a bet. So then it becomes your main bet. It's the one you're willing to stake the most money on. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be the one that you think's most likely going to win. Although that's kind of a contradiction. But what I mean by that is that's the bet that I'm willing to put the most money on. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to have the most likely chance of winning. But so Saturday's main bet was Aberdeen, Leverkusen, Villa, Leipzig, and was it Malmo? Malmo, yeah. Got a bit of luck with Malmo. Malmo scored in the 82nd minute. But the rest of the bet was pretty good. And it was £135.52 I won. So in total that was 168 in winnings for the weekend, which good, given that I've been on a bad run, no hiding from that. I was pretty pleased with it. So another bet I did on Saturday, and it's kind of inspired what I'm going to do this week, was I did Newcastle to win and both to score was up. I did Urgie over twos, Fulham to draw, and Hearts both to score. Urgie was up, Fulham were beat 1-0, I think, weren't they? And Hearts were beat 2-0, couldn't score at home. But because the overs in the both teams to score bets that I've been doing haven't been great, when I just select those. I am gonna, maybe in this last couple of weeks of the season, just do a bit of a random bet that'll have selections from whatever I fancy. Like there's a draw in there, there's both teams a team to win and both to score. There's an over two, so it's just a bit of whatever. So that's what I've done this week, as well as a main bet. Like I say, I probably will do that for the last couple of weeks of the season, because it is getting very hard to pick bets. I know I keep saying this, and I don't want to, keep bringing it up, but there's a lot of teams at the top that aren't, they're sort of stumbling over the line, like a Plymouth. And there's a lot of teams that are down towards the bottom of the league that are going on great runs to get themselves away from relegation, or there's teams that are putting together runs to get themselves into the playoffs. And, it's very, very hard at the minute, I feel, to predict games for winners, especially. But so yeah, that's basically last week. Say £168 profit or in winnings, I'll take that. I did invest about £70, so it's or 70 or 75. So it's only about an £80 profit, £90 profit. It's not huge, but when games weekends with games like that, the half the bets you're doing are just for enjoyment, just to watch the games and have something to sweat on. So the fact that it came out profitable, I'm happy with that. So I'll get quickly on to the bet. So Saturday's bet, main bet. First team, I'll run through this quickly and I'll come back for some research. So Chelmsford at home to Hungerford, 4-9. Napoli at home to Verona, 4-9. Sheffield Wednesday away to Burton, 3-5. Burnley away to Reading. They are 8-15, and then Inter at home to Monza, 4-9. And as you can see, there's only 3 games in England, because I say there wasn't loads that I fancied. And again, this bet is only 6.3 to 1, which is normally my bets would be about 9 to 1 at the least. So this week what I've done is I've put 15 quid on that. So it is a bigger investment, but again, I'll probably be doing less bets overall, because, as I say, there's not that much that jumped out at me. So anyway, so I'll get into this. Chelmsford. The Chelmsford are currently 4th in the National League South. Hungerford are 23rd in the relegation zone. Chelmsford 12 points in the last 5 games. Hungerford decent. This is again, Hungerford are 12th on form. They've actually got 7 points, scored 10 goals, conceded, or scored 11 goals, conceded 10. So they're in good form. But again, Chelmsford in recent form, they've won 4 in a row at home. They lost the game before that, but that was against Ebb Street, who are top, and they won the game before that. So great home form. Hungerford, although they've been in good form, have only got 1 win in the last 5 away from home. So a lot of those points have been at home. So that's sort of my thinking there. Even though they're in a good run, haven't got a great away record. Next is Napoli. Now, Napoli are flying, as we know, they're going to win that league, but they're not the same team without Victor Osimhen. Um, they've only got 9 points, which is not great for the team at the top of the league in the last five. But Verona are way down there in 15th with only 5 points. Um, in the last three games that Victor Osimhen's been injured, they've only won one of them. But the two defeats were against AC Milan, both games. They lost obviously in the Champions League last night, and they lost in the league a week or so ago. So they haven't been great, let's be honest. And they're a different team without him. But the home form has been pretty good. The 3 wins in there at home. And again, I had that defeat to AC Milan, the 4-0, which was a bit of a crazy one. Verona, on the other hand, no wins in five, 3 defeats and 2 draws in the last five. One thing I was saying about Victor Osimhen there, I think he might be back. I was doing a bit of reading last night when I was doing my research for last night's bet, and it did say that it was only a small injury and he should be back in contention for the weekend. But you never know with these things. That could be, just put there to put people off or whatever. Make it seem like it's not as bad as what it is. It happens. But anyway, that's them. So next they're going to Inter Milan. Inter Milan playing Monza at home. Inter Milan currently fifth, Monza 13th. Inter Milan not in great form. Monza actually have more points than them in the last five. Monza have 6, Inter Milan have 4. But Inter Milan have the third best home record in the league after Juventus and Napoli. Monza's away record isn't great. And then recent home form, they've lost 2 in a row at home, Inter Milan. But one of those was against Juventus, who's obviously a good side, and the other one was against Fiorentina, who are the form team in the league. Fiorentina absolutely flying at the minute, but they did win the 3 before that. And then Monza in the last five, 2 draws, defeat, and then 2 wins in the previous games before that. So last 3 games, no wins. So I think that's why. I mean, I don't think the price would be 4-9 if Inter was in decent form, but can I see Inter losing 3 home games in a row? No, I don't. And that's basically my thinking there. Um, Lastly, then Burnley. Burnley obviously have been promoted, and I'm not sure if they can win the league at the weekend. Let me just look at the table. So there's 6 games left, which is what 18 points, and they are currently 14 points, um, 14 points clear. So if they were to win, they would go 93. And then, well, a win could possibly win them the league if the team below them, Sheffield United, don't win. They go to 77. They're on 96 or 93. So 77, 87. That's 15. Basically, they could win the league if Sheffield United lose, and they could be guaranteed it would be goal difference the other way, and their goal difference is way better. So basically, they can win the league with a win. So sometimes when teams win the league, they do fall off. They lose the next game, but hopefully they go out, win this game, win the league, and that's it. So anyway, they are top. Reading are in the relegation zone, 20 to 22nd in the league, and not in great form. They're 22nd in form. Recent home form, Reading, they've had 2 draws in the last two defeats before that, and a win before that against Blackpool, who are down the bottom. Burnley's away form not amazing. They beat Middlesbrough in their last away game. They lost to City in the FA Cup. I mean, 6-0, but that was the FA Cup. They beat Hull before that, and they had 2 draws before that. So again, I'm just really looking at that one, thinking they need to win this to win the league. That's my thinking. So that's the bet. It's 6.3 to 1. Not huge odds. If you normally follow my bets and you put the same stake as me on, even if you put the tenner on, you're still going to get 73, 75 pound, maybe with the bonus in there. It's not bad. If you normally only do a fiver, maybe consider a couple of extra pound. I'm not saying put 15 pound on it. Maybe put 7, 8 pound on it, 10 pound if you can afford it. But as always, never bet with money you can't afford to lose. Now, as I said, that last week's Newcastle Fulham draw bet has sort of inspired me to do just a bit of a random selection bet. It's sort of all over the place. Not normally what I do, but You know, I'm trying different things with this extra side bet because the overs weren't working definitely, and then the both teams to scores weren't working. So what I've done is I've got Palace, who are hugely priced at the weekend. Um, I very nearly put Huddersfield in too, and I do think Huddersfield are ridiculously overpriced the weekend, given that since Neil Warnock's went in there, they're flying. They were unlucky. Well, if you'd have backed them at the weekend, they were a great price. They were 2-0 up on Bet365. You would have been paid out. They eventually drew two each, so you know wasn't they didn't get the win or anything. But you know, again, I didn't put them in. They were, I think they're 4-1 or something the weekend. It's crazy. But so what it did put in was Palace, who are 17-10 away to Southampton, which I think is a huge price for a team who, since Roy Hodgson's winning, he's won 2 games and he's doing well. Next team is Villa to win, and both teams Newcastle again to win, and both teams to score, and that's against Villa. And then lastly, Spurs to win and over 2 match goals, so over 2.5, and that for a fiver pays 122. So Palace to win, Newcastle and both to score, Spurs and over 2s. Spurs are at home to Bournemouth. I was thinking of going for the both teams to score in that one as well, but I don't know. I think Bournemouth might score, but if it's 2-1, I'll be happy anyway. So that's the sort of side bet, the sort of all over the place bet. I might do some other small bets. I might do some draws or something. But yeah, that's it for the weekend. So looking ahead to midweek, Tuesday, there's 6 championship games. There's a 11 League One, 11 League Two, 8 in the National League, 4 in the National League North, 4 in the National League South. The Champions League is the 2 games that we had. This week it's the 4 games reversed. So Tuesday night is Chelsea Madrid and Napoli AC Milan, and then Wednesday night Champions League is City Bayern and Inter Benfica. There's also 6 championship games on Wednesday night, and then Thursday is the 4 Europa Conference, 4 Europa League. So that's basically it for this week. I'm happy to get back to winning ways, and that's about it. Which just leaves me to say, if you are doing a bet, good luck and happy punting.
Here, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, thanks. Let me find out you fucked up. I'll leave you wherever I find you.